Are we allowed to run through the numbers of the Batinia property?
Yeah, Joe can share them with you.
I mean, you probably know them better than I do, but we, I think it was 875 that we bought the property for.
875,000. Yep. Aussie
Australian
dollars.
Which was another big tick for us, getting the Singapore FX rates in Australian dollars, which was very handy. So that, I think it worked out to about 74,000 Sing dollars for a deposit in 2024 to lock that property in. And, we were very happy to get a email from you a couple of months ago saying that the property's already gone up 15% in value. So the property's not built yet, and looks like we're going to lock in 15% growth already. So
one thing I think that was also an attractive point for me was that when we were thinking about going and buying another investment property, although we'd only really lightly thought about it, I think the most scariest part for us was actually outlaying all of this money at once. And so that's why we thought that money we had set aside would probably be for a family home. And so I think what was also attractive for us was that we weren't outlaying all of that money at once. We were able to do half back then and half coming in the future. But that was a bit of a draw card for me, is not outlaying all at once, where we would have had to do that if we were looking to invest in DY or back in those northern beaches. So that was a big consideration.
And how did you feel about off-plan new build versus existing as well? Initially, you were a bit like...
Initially, I was hesitant, but that's just because that's the comfort zone we'd operated in, right? Yeah. But when we sort of drew up a list of questions, and then, I'll let you speak on that.
To be honest, it was terrifying for me too. You speak to your parents and they say, just buy a brick apartment or a brick house that's built, been built, a long time ago, and it's, already existing. You can go and see it. And so there was, trepidation about, jumping into this off-plan sort of build. And I came to Luke with probably the longest list of questions he's ever had.
What were some questions? Do you remember?
It was like, how can we trust this builder? How do you, what's the likelihood of this not going through? How, are they going to change the finishes of what we've agreed on? I mean,
great questions.
Just things that I know that have happened. You've heard stories of happening before with off-plan builds, but Luke just sat there and calmly answered one after the other, and anything that it was a bit curly, he said, "Give me a day or so, and I'll speak to the builder and I'll get back to you." And they came back with an answer of every single question. So I think that was part of the nice thing about dealing with you guys, and I think that's sort of what was sort of made us really comfortable in purchasing and putting down these property prices, was that I really felt like you had our best interests at heart. I felt like you were working for us to go to the builder and say, these are the questions they've got. I've answered them. They're like this. Is there anything you want to add? And they answered everything in an email back, and it gave us confidence.